Hello, it's Kiana. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you've been here before. So today we're talking all about tandem breastfeeding. So what is tandem breastfeeding? Basically, tandem breastfeeding is breastfeeding more than one child at a time. So this video aims to answer your question of if you should tandem breastfeed or if you should leave it. So I'm gonna start by answering this question basically how like any professional would answer this question, and the answer they probably would give you is it's really up to you and your toddler if you want to continue breastfeeding. I'm gonna focus on the scenario of a toddler and a newborn because I don't have much experience with like twins, and I feel like that might be a little bit different. How are you feeling emotionally? Are you handling the biting? Because I know, like, girl. Another thing is, how are you handling the demand to feed? Are you getting overstimulated? Are you feeling like you don't have enough time for yourself? You know, these are things that you need to ask yourself and pinpoint areas that need improvement. So you want to check in with how you're feeling about everything that is going on in regards to you breastfeeding just one baby. And if you are finding that you have areas that are bringing you annoyance on the daily, or you're just not emotionally just, you know, content with the situation, then you might want to look at that certain area and see if there's ways to improve that. And now I'm gonna maybe go into some ways to improve these things if you are. So let's start with teeth biting. So the thing that helped me with the biting with my toddler was just being assertive, as well as not making it a laughing matter. So there needs to be some consistency in how you react to the biting. So you can't laugh it off sometimes and then other times be assertive, because that can create some like mixed signals and your toddler might be confused as well as you. This also goes for just roughness in general. So like slapping, pulling, what name you, just be assertive. As far as maybe the demand goes, try to limit some feeds so that it's not as demanding of your time. So something that helped me was to completely eliminate daytime feedings and offer food and drink. This is only possible for like older babies. So another thing to consider when you're deciding to tandem breastfeed is the logistical side of it. So are you producing enough milk? How are you handling breastfeeding health-wise? Latching, is that fine? Soreness, is that fine? So those things you need to consider. So if you're like have some things that like you're putting off, like going to the doctor about, maybe don't put those off. Try to get those things together before you introduce another breastfeeding baby. As far as producing more milk, you can also consult your doctor or lactation specialist. But for me, I've noticed that just drinking enough water and also just staying hydrated in general helps a ton. Also, eating things with good nutritional value can help a lot more, as well as what are those things called? As well as vitamins and supplements. So once you do decide that you want to tandem breastfeed, these are things that you should consider. So how are you going to navigate jealousy? So jealousy may occur between your toddler that's already breastfeeding and then your newborn baby. More so on your toddler's side, because they're used to having your attention like whenever they want it. Whenever you add like a newborn baby into that mix, you're not always available for them to breastfeed. So you need to think about how you will navigate jealousy. And one of my tips is just having another person there with you to help give your toddler the attention that they're craving or the closeness that they're craving from you, whether it's playing with toys with that other person, or eating a meal, or you know, whatever it might be. Usually your toddler at that point doesn't necessarily need the breast milk, but is more so craving like closeness, attention, you know, those sort of. So you can usually replace that need to breastfeed with things. And if another person is not available, because sometimes people are not available. Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom or whatever it may be. Things like a favorite show or a favorite toy might come in handy at those moments where you really need to feed your newborn and your toddler is very clingy to you and it's just not happening. Like a TV show or even a favorite toy or a song or something like that can come in handy. So just keep those in mind. Okay, so the final thing is setting up boundaries with your toddler. So this is something that I personally didn't really think about until we're in the midst of it, but you definitely should consider setting up boundaries with your toddler so that they know what to expect and it's not just sprung on them out of the blue. So they need to know when it's appropriate to breastfeed and the do's and don'ts. So like biting is a don't, you know, pulling, slapping is a don't, you know, like those sort of things. So how to approach setting up these boundaries is mainly just being consistent with your rules that you set in place and just don't waver on them. So if biting is a hard no, just make it a hard no every time. Whatever boundaries you want to set up, just make sure that you're consistent with them, and it should eliminate some confusion. So yeah, I hope that helped in your decision making of if you want to tandem breastfeed. It's definitely possible to do. And if everyone's comfortable with the situation, you should go forward with tandem breastfeeding. If you do decide tandem breastfeeding is not for you and it's not just gonna work out, you might want to consider weaning before your newborn comes, and I'm gonna be doing a video on that as well, so stay tuned for that video if that is of interest of you. Tell me your thoughts about tandem breastfeeding and if it's something that you would ever consider or have considered. Also, leave any tips down below in the comments, and like always, like the video if you liked it and subscribe to see more content like this. Yeah, so thank you for watching and I'll talk to you later. Bye.